Good afternoon. My name is Ritabri Chakraborty. I'm an actor, a producer, a writer, a miniaturist, and mother of 86 beautiful silent children. I'm sure you guys must be thinking, what on Mahabharata is she talking about? How can she be mother of 86 children? Well, I did not give birth to them, but I've been taking care of them, helping them have a better future for the last 15 years. When I was 17, I was really very popular from the TV show that I started working in a year before. It was called Ogobodu Shundari and it was really loved by people. In no time, at an age where I did not even have the right to vote, I had an understanding what fame feels like, what love feels like. One day, the teachers of Ideal School for the Deaf showed up on my door, requesting me if I can go on an awareness walk with them. The school was shutting down, lack of funds, they could not drag it any further. So they were like, if I walk with them, maybe my celebrity status will bring some eyeballs and people will do some charity or funding and the school will stay. I thought it's a good cause. All I have to do is a walk. That's not much. I can do it. And I did not know that I was literally going to walk into the purpose of my life. After the walk, I met the kids, 33 of them back then. And I just could not believe there's nothing under the sun that I can do or anyone can do right now to protect the school. They were underprivileged children. They have no way or means to pay for education anywhere else. So this was their only shot. As a 17-year-old naive self who sometimes even wore two socks at once, I asked how much does it take to run the school, and our principal ma'am said an amount. And I calculated, okay, if I do not buy maybe branded shoes or bags for some time, maybe I'll be able to afford this and run the school. That's exactly how naive I was. I had no idea how to actually run a school, let alone how to run myself. Like I said, 17, look around what they're like. I said, I'm going to do this. And that's how I took one of the most major decisions of my life of running a school. 15 years. I learned it through the process, like what to do it, how to build a library in the school, a science room, a field, whatnot. The list goes on. I mean, the fees for the teachers, running a school is a mammoth task. And the children. You got to take care of the children. You cannot have a sharp edge around any corner. They might fall on them. And while I was also working, having a full functional life as an actor, trying to get better, go places, I was also thinking about if my children are fine, if we are doing fine with the school every other day, every month for sure. The biggest challenge was getting 9 and 10. When I got the school was not affiliated. So I really needed 9 and 10, like till the 8th grade. The children were there, and after that, because we did not have a board attached, they would have to go to a different school. They had difficulty adjusting. They got bullied very badly, and I was losing my kids like anything. It's a long process. And I really tried. I tried my best, doing all the paperwork, submission, and things take so long in this country. Can't help it. In Kolkata Film Festival, I remember while my colleagues were running after Shah Rukh Khan to take a selfie, I was looking for where's a minister or mayor I can hold to get this done. And guess what? I got it done. We have 9 and 10 now, and I have from 33 to 86 children. When I say all of this, doesn't it sound like, it's so heroic of Ritabri Chakraborty? She did something so cool. She adopted a school, took care of the children. I come across like some messiah, which I so am not. Now let me flip the story and tell you the actual story. I helped them. They saved me. My kids saved me. And this actual story is about how Ritabri Chakraborty got saved by her 86 children. I chose a profession in show business. Probably one of the most difficult business that there is where a woman can be. If you're choosing to be here, especially if you're choosing to be an actor in front of the camera, your life, your body, everything you do is up for judgment. You live in sort of a glass house. Everyone can peek into what's going on with you. And I'm extremely sensitive. Sometimes the unfairness, the rigidity, the difficulty, all of it of the business got to me. I felt like I'm an educated girl. I could have done something else. Why am I doing this? Maybe I should do something else. But every time I would be at the school, whether it's just a regular day or a Christmas celebration or Independence Day, and I would spend time with my children, they would come running towards me, get on my lap. They do that all the time. Whenever I go to the school, doesn't matter how many times in a week. Or when I'm playing with them, or someone is sharing an ice cream and complaining about another kid who stole their drawing or something, I would always think that this whole Ritabri Chakraborty branding I have is not just for my ego, that I feel so great about myself, that what all I am doing, where all I am going, what movies I am being in. This this whole brand is paying off by attracting all the CSR that I get to fund the school, to run the school. So I cannot quit. I have my children, I'm responsible for them, and they bring me so much love and joy. If I can and if I have the strength, my ego or my dissatisfaction cannot be enough for me to quit the profession. I mean, also, I do not have to mention it twice that how much I do love acting. That has always been a strong reason too. The business, though, I have mixed feelings about. Many years forward, fast forwarding, Ritabri growing, people loving her more, she doing more interesting film. In fact, um, the fact that I could take up a cause and stick to it and not falter from performing where I should be in my profession helped me feel confident about taking up more roles as someone who can make or bring change in the society. I made films like Brahmajanin, Fatafati, or Grihosto or Nondini, which are literally topics that opens difficult conversations in our society. Let it be about women being priests or body shaming or female infanticide, the topic goes on. And that fight kind of came from the fact that I saw that when I tried to make a change, it happened in the school. I did not fail. I didn't know how to run a school, but I figured it out. And I was like, let me just see what more I can do. And beyond my profession, too, I started a helpline during COVID so that a mental health helpline, people who were grieving, they can talk to the psychologists for free. I gave 2,700 kids the first pair of shoes in villages by raising the funds from people. I tried making Calcutta the first city to have pad vending machines in every public toilet. And we already succeeded in making like 110 installations. During 2020, 2021, probably the lowest point of my life, a lot of us were suffering because of COVID. I had two, three more scoops on top of that. I had three surgeries. That point of time, I got really sick. I was bedridden, in a lot of pain, lot of discomfort. And in that down period, I gained a lot of weight. I became bigger in every possible way. When I came back in front of people, in front of public eye, boy, the judgment that I got from everywhere. Like I was no longer the person they had seen celebrated. I was something to be forgotten now because I was over. I was cancelled because I was fat. I was no longer accepted in their idea of what beauty standards a heroine holds. There was brutal trolling. Even my industry people, wherever I would go, show up, they would have that look towards me like, what happened to her? What did she do? Oh, she's over. She should just get married now. Like, there's nothing more that can happen for her. It hurt. It sting. I'm sensitive. It hurt a lot. And I started feeling really insecure about myself for a while. That was probably October was the most brutal month. We have this day where I give new clothes for Durga Puja to my children. And again, after this gap of lockdown and everything, and my painful comeback with the body shaming, I went to school. Remember how I said whenever I go to school, my kids come running to me and, like, they get into my lap or they start complaining about a painting or someone wants an ice cream or someone is saying, like, whatever they want to convey, it was exactly the same. Exactly. Not a single look among my 86 children was such where I felt smaller than who I was. And then I just realized that this this outer coating, whatever we have, this face, this body, and everything, people who love you for that, great, we put effort in this. But people who love you for who you are inside, for who you never change, no matter how much you would physically change, that's the love we should always be fighting for. That's the only one worth working for, doing things towards, and that I did even without knowing when I adopted the school. I was so validated. I was pre approved by my kids for anything, no matter what form I'm in. They loved me because I was theirs. I gave them time, I loved them, and that had some value. That had so much value. And that changed how I looked at myself. My confidence came back. I was like, I am this person who's worthy of love of this 86 kids who cannot speak, cannot listen. They don't even watch my movies. They barely watch movies, to be honest, because of their limitations. But they loved me. And I'm like, who all are you then? I am the heroine here in life. So you're going to tell me where I cannot or can be a heroine? I move forward doing what I do. And trust me, that strength came from my children, who I thought initially I was saving, I was helping, and they saved me for sure. I have always encouraged them to be creative, have a lot of artistic gallery in our school. We do exhibitions every year. In fact, Ankona, one of my dearest girls, she was featured in a music video alongside me called Rup Shagore. She's so talented. She's so talented. And there's this whole world that exists, that I live in, that helps me build this other bigger world that you see. All these multi hyphenate things that people say next to my name, like what a beautiful introduction that was given to me today. All those comes because this other world exists. So what my thoughts to this generation is, you think charity is for something which is only limited to rich people, people with money or resources. That's not true. True, we all don't have the same kind of money. Some of you might not even have the kind of money to buy the bags I traded for paying for the school. But you have time. We all have a very valuable resource called time. So it doesn't matter how you want to do it. You want to teach your house helps kids or somewhere in the slum or help some other way. It's your way how to or what you're going to do to help someone. Sometimes you will not even realize when you're helping someone else, standing by someone else, you're not off focus from your goal, or you're not wasting your time. Sometimes you're actually saving yourself. And like I always believe, and I always say, that it is kindness that's going to save the world. Thank you.